All right, let's dive right in. We're going to break down the Ethiopian medical device market, a place that is absolutely brimming with potential. So think of this as your strategic playbook, a clear, actionable guide for Turkish manufacturers on how to not just enter, but really dominate in one of Africa's most exciting economies.
First things first, let's talk numbers. Because this one, wow. This is the year-over-year growth of Turkish medical and technical exports to Ethiopia. And no, that is not a typo. It's a massive signal that the Ethiopian market is actively looking for and buying Turkish technology right now. The door isn't just open, it's been kicked wide open.
And this isn't just some flash in the pan. The entire Ethiopian healthcare market is projected to grow at a steady 15% every single year. This is all being driven by a growing population, better infrastructure, and a government that's really prioritizing healthcare. So the key takeaway here is simple. This is a stable, long-term opportunity.
So how do you actually capture this opportunity? Well, we've broken it all down into a 5-part strategy. First, we'll size up the prize itself. Then, we'll navigate the regulatory maze. After that, we'll lay out the go-to-market playbook, uncover the unique Turkish advantage, and finally, talk about how to play the long game for real, sustainable success. Okay, first up, let's define the prize. What exactly makes Ethiopia such a hot market right now? It's more than just growth numbers. It's about a deep, fundamental reliance on imports. And that, right there, is where the golden opportunity really is. Just take a look at these figures. See how the total market size and the total imports are practically the same number? That tells you everything you need to know. The market is over 90% dependent on foreign technology. For a country like Turkey that excels at exporting, this is huge. You're not just trying to compete here. You're literally filling a critical, structural need.
And look, this isn't just some vague general demand. The Ethiopian Ministry of Health has been very specific, identifying these subsectors as high priority. They're actively hunting for suppliers for things like advanced imaging, surgical tools, dialysis equipment, and, of course, high-volume consumables. So you have a precise target list for your portfolio right here.
Of course, every great opportunity comes with a few hurdles. In Ethiopia, that's the regulatory process. But don't think of it as a maze. Think of it more like a series of gates. And the main gatekeeper you need to know is the Ethiopian Food and Drug Authority, or EFDA.
Let me be crystal clear on this. The EFDA is the single most important organization you will deal with, period. They control all market access. No device can be imported, sold, or even used in Ethiopia without their official stamp of approval. Compliance isn't a suggestion, it's the absolute price of entry.
And this is where the Turkish advantage really kicks in. Because Turkey's regulations are aligned with the EU, any Turkish device with a CE mark qualifies for the abbreviated pathway. Now look at that difference. Instead of a standard 10-month review, you're looking at just 4 months. That's not just an advantage, it's a regulatory fast track that gets you to market more than twice as fast.
The good news is the EFDA has made this whole process digital. It's a clear, 4-step journey on their e-risk portal. You start by appointing your mandatory local agent, then you get your technical dossier ready, submit it all online, and finally, you can track everything digitally. It's a transparent, step-by-step system. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, so once you get that regulatory green light, how do you actually start selling? This brings us to the go-to-market playbook. You can think of the market as being split into 2 main channels, the big volume public sector and the high-margin private sector.
So let's compare the two. On one side, you've got the public sector. They buy in massive quantities through tenders, but it's very price sensitive and, it can be a slow process. On the other side, the private sector offers much better margins, they really value innovation, and you can negotiate directly. So what's the best strategy? Honestly, you should be targeting both.
And listen, for any companies out there with cutting-edge tech, the private sector is your perfect entry point. Private hospitals and clinics aren't tied down by those same long public tender rules. They can make decisions much faster and are totally willing to pay a premium for technology that gives them a clinical edge. This makes them ideal early adopters for your best products. And don't just take my word for it. This advice from the Turkish Ministry of Trade is absolutely critical. Your choice of a local partner can make or break your success. They aren't just importers. They are your guides through the bureaucracy, your logistics experts, and your on-the-ground sales team. You want to look for partners with a proven track record and this is so important, an existing team of service engineers.
Now, let's move on to a factor that you won't find on any spreadsheet, the unique Turkish advantage. This is a powerful mix of quality perception, cost-effectiveness, and really strong diplomatic ties that gives Turkish companies a serious built-in edge.
Hey, remember those incredible growth numbers we started with? Let's look a little closer. It's not just medical devices that are surging. Pharmaceuticals are up over 460%. This is not random. This is hard data showing a deliberate, strategic shift in Ethiopian buying habits, a shift towards Turkish suppliers. The market is voting with its purchase orders.
So why is this shift happening? Well, it really boils down to these 4 pillars. First, the CE mark gives Turkish products that quality DNA of European devices. Second, they're just way more price efficient than Western brands. Third, strong diplomatic relations create a really positive business environment. And finally, the goodwill built by agencies like TICA creates trust and brand preference right there at the clinical level.
Getting in the door is one thing, but staying and winning for years to come, that's the long game. This final section is all about building a lasting, profitable presence in Ethiopia.
Here's a concrete multi-year roadmap for you. In year 1, your focus is on getting that local agent and getting your EFDA registration done fast. In year 2, you deepen your roots by setting up a local training center. This is huge for building brand loyalty. And for the long game, after 2026, you can start exploring light assembly in Ethiopia. This not only gives you a leg up in government tenders, but also sets you up for duty-free exports across all of Africa.
And finally, success isn't just about what you sell, but how you sell it. Ethiopian business culture is built on 3 things: respect, personal relationships, and patience. You have to take the time to build genuine trust with your partners. Rushing a deal is honestly the fastest way to lose it. The relationship is every bit as important as the contract.
So let's pull all this together. The old idea of Ethiopia as a high-risk frontier market, that's completely outdated. Today, it's a sophisticated, rapidly growing arena. And for Turkish manufacturers, that unique combination of quality, cost, and diplomatic goodwill gives you a truly formidable competitive edge. The market is ready for you. The demand is proven. The regulatory path is clear, and your strategic advantages are significant. The playbook is right here, in your hands. So the only question left is, are you ready to lead in Africa's next economic powerhouse?